Hi, and welcome back to the Studio Scoop.
Thanks for joining us this episode for our new holiday season. I'm one of your hosts, Gaby Olmo.
I'm Kathy Prada.
And I'm Sabrina Lopez.
We have a special guest. This episode is our first special guest. Her name's Naya Jacobson. So Naya, tell us a little bit about yourself. So we heard that you celebrate Hanukkah. So tell us your own take on how you celebrate.
Yeah, so my family is Jewish, both from my mom and dad's side. But we're not as traditional or orthodox as some people are. So it's more of a cultural thing than a religious thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously there's a religious aspect to it, but it's not as orthodox as some people may celebrate. But usually what we do in my house is every Hanukkah, as you know, it's 8 nights. Mm-hmm. Right, so we'll just pick a random night of Hanukkah. It's usually toward the end, but we'll all go to my grandma's house and we'll have a dinner. And sometimes it'll be a little party. We'll invite family, friends. This year we had a few of my friends over to partake in the Hanukkah celebration, so that was cool. They were never played Dreidel before.
Oh my god!
Oh, so you introduced them to
Yeah. So usually we'll have dinner and it'll be challah, which is grated bread. You can get it at most grocery stores. But my stepmom actually made a challah this year, so that was cool.
I mean, what's your favorite part about it besides the food and stuff?
I like Hanukkah just because it's an excuse to get together and eat good food and see everyone. Judaism, Hanukkah is actually not that big of a deal. There's a lot of other holidays that are, but because Hanukkah happens to fall right around Christmas usually, that's the one that most people think is the big Jewish holiday. But it's just not that it isn't important, but it's not as major as some other ones.
So what is one of them that is at least more major?
I mean, there's so many that it's hard to rank by importance. Yeah. But Shabbat is one of the higher importance one, I think. And that's actually every Friday at sundown. So it's interesting. It's that's another holiday of lights actually. So Hanukkah, you light the 8 candles for the 8 nights, right?
Do you do that? Do you
yeah. We have the menorah. The menorah has 9 candles actually. So there's 4 candles on each side, and then there's one taller candle in the middle. So the middle candle is called the shamas, and then the shamas lights the rest of the candles.
So there's a specific way, or they're specific candles?
Each night of Hanukkah, you added another candle to the menorah, so you go from right to left, which is confusing because English you read from left to right, right? But Hebrew is read from right to left, so you do the candles in the same way, right? So the first night it would only be the far rightmost candle, and the second night you add another one, and so when you light the candles, you're supposed to leave them burning all night because, the story of Hanukkah, for anyone who doesn't know, this is going to be a rough version of it, but it's basically, so there was this temple, ancient Israel, there was a temple, and they had an oil lamp, and they would keep the oil lamp lit 24/7. Right, and I'm gonna butcher this story. This is my Cliff's Notes Hanukkah for Dummies. But so the oil lamp, they would keep it lit 24/7, and the oil lamp represents the light of God, the divine spark, which in Hebrew is B'Tselem Elohim. They keep it lit always and forever. So then, in the story, there's this war going on, so they can't access the oil supplies as they would normally. So then they only have enough oil left in the lamp for one more day and night's worth of keeping it lit. And they're this is bad, we need more oil, we can't let the light go out, So they send a rider off to go get more oil. But the thing is, it's a long journey, and even longer because there's a battle happening, and it's but they're we're just gonna hope and pray and try to keep this lamp going. So the lamp ended up lasting for 8 nights. And then by that time the rider came back and gave more oil, and then they kept it going.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts of, Jewish holidays in general is the stories are always really cool.
Is that something you learned about when you were younger, was taught?
So my grandma would always get these children's books of story of Hanukkah, Passover, whatever, but learn the stories and stuff. So the dreidel is a little spinning top. It has 4 sides, right? There's a Hebrew letter on each side of the dreidel. Nun, Gimel, Hey, and oh my god, what's the last one? There's a 4th one. Yeah. You get the gist. Everyone starts with gelt, which is little pieces of chocolate, but they're wrapped and look like coins, right? You sit in a circle, you go around spinning the dreidel. Depending on what letter it lands on, depends on what happens. So if it lands on like one of them, you get to like take all the gelt from the middle, or sometimes you have to like put one of your gelt in the middle, or like you take half the gelt from the pile.
And you still play? Like,
Well, yeah, you know, for my siblings, and I taught, like, I invited a few friends over for Hanukkah this year, so I taught them all how to play, and they were, like, having trouble spinning it, because it's harder than it looks. Yeah, it's, like, a silly little game, but it's fun.
What are some assumptions people like make about Hanukkah that you've heard that are like completely ridiculous to you?
Oh, okay, so here's one. A lot of the times, people will be like, oh, you're lucky you get, like, presents every night of Hanukkah. First of all, like, Hanukkah is not a gift-giving holiday. Like, the only reason gifts are given on Hanukkah is because it's been, like, westernized and, you know, because of, like, the Christian influence, especially in America. Originally, it wasn't about that at all. It was just about the light. But, no, my family does give presents for Hanukkah, but not 8 nights. Like, no one got money for 8 nights of presents, you know? I don't really hear people talk about Hanukkah a lot, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why we're doing this episode. We kind of want to shed light.
Oh, and that's another thing. Like, Hanukkah falls on a different day every year, but it's like a different date every year. So that's like something people don't know, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Thank you so much for joining us. Like,
Yeah.
we really appreciate you taking the time to tell us a little bit more about Hanukkah. So that's it for the episode.
Thank you for watching.
I'm Gaby Olmo.
I'm Kathy Prada.
and I'm Sabrina Lopez.
And this is Naya Jacobson.
Thank you.
Bye!